TV on. All right, guys, what's up? Pull up a chair. We're about to get into it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Before you do pull up a chair and we do get into it, let me just say this. We had a fire podcast with Valor Fit a couple days ago. Crazy conversation, super raw, super he's amazing. Troy's amazing. So if you haven't got that chance, either go support Valor Fit or go watch that podcast and then go support Valor Fit. But amazing dude, super awesome. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it.
That was awesome.
It was a good time. And it was very I haven't been that emotional in a long time. So
yeah. I wasn't prepared.
None of us were, I don't think.
No.
So thank you for that. Okay. Before we get into what we all want, the crux of the conversation, which we'll get into for a while. But before we do that, Kanye, are we forgiving Kanye?
That's where we're starting. Oh my God.
Have we forgiven Kanye again, or are we not? Is the consensus that we're not forgiving Kanye anymore? We're over it, and it's done.
What did he do? What did he do now?
Oh man.
Pat.
What did I miss?
You're so white, Pat.
I know.
He put out a full page "I'm sorry for all the shit I've done" and said over the last I don't even know. Oh, Corey, what's up, Corey? I support Pat's haircut.
Me too.
Trish to the dish. Let's go. Good to see you.
What's up, Trish?
Cross that.
I love her.
Hi, Meg.
All good. So are we forgiving Kanye? Are we?
He blamed it on yeah, there you go. CrossFit just said it. He said it was some sort of traumatic.
I feel like he's just gonna I don't know. I still really like his music. I feel like you're able to as an art I really don't care about what artists do in general.
I love music.
I love his music.
I tend to agree with that.
Artists that may or may not have done crazy things.
Right.
And people still like them in their music and they're able to separate that. I don't really care what they do in their personal life.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
Listen, I'm just saying, I don't think I have anything to forgive because I was never mad. I don't really, does that make sense? I just didn't.
Yeah.
Care.
You were never mad at him from a political standpoint?
Why would I be mad at him? I didn't ever cared about him, if that makes sense. Him as a person, if that, you know what I mean? I think you had to have had cared about him as a person and put him on a pedestal to be mad because he knocked off that, if that makes sense. And I just never did. I thought it was silly and crazy, but I never cared enough about him as a person.
It was more of a feeling of disappointment.
Me.
So you weren't mad at all when he was yo, white lives matter?
No, I just thought it was funny.
that was pissed.
Funny, crazy Kanye, but it wasn't like I had idolized him in any way where that would hurt me that he did that, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I don't know.
Did you not like Candace for White Lives Matter?
I mean, I just think it's silly. But again, even with the Candace stuff, I feel like I feel like Candace's art, the way that his art is music, Candace's art is her show and the entertainment she puts on and things like that. That still is something you're able to separate from her as a person in certain cases. And I think she's maybe not just, but she has her moments where she can be very crazy and silly, but I'm able to say I can still appreciate some of her entertainment that she puts out and her commentary.
I'm not saying it's not entertainment. Look,
yeah.
And Crossfat's Corey Leonard's not wrong. Through the Wire is still a banger. It is. It's still a banger.
I don't think I'd hang out with Kanye because I think he is a douche, and I think he's probably. I think he's seriously mentally ill. He needs help. But I love his music. Even MJ. I still listen to MJ's music, and I'm like, man, this fucking shit is good, even though he's a fucking weirdo pedo. Some of that music is fucking good.
Hey, that was never proven, dude.
I know, right? Exactly.
Yo, R. Kelly.
I don't really. Woo! I never listened to his.
That was proven. we all saw it. Yeah, I look at Kanye his music is dope. Still, I haven't gotten into the last probably the most recent album as much, but everything. Breed Black Squirtus. Everything before that, like, sign me up for Kanye. Where I got a little, I don't know, disappointed was when like the Heil Hitler stuff and just the over the top anti-Semitic type stuff. I was like, yo, dude, like at that time I was like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe he's bored and maybe there's some shit, some trauma, something. But like, I guess to Bree's point, I was never like, man, I hate
Who's
him
got
or
their
I have
TV
strong
on?
feelings.
Who has their TV on?
This
What
is
are
why I've
you-
been muting my roommates downstairs, and I live
Okay,
in
okay.
a loft.
Got you. Okay, go ahead. What are you saying? Do it.
Oh,
Joe.
no. So it was more like it wasn't even like hate. It was like concern. Like I'm like, am I concerned for someone whose net worth is $1 billion? Not necessarily, but I'm like worried about him. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, homeboy is
Do you think
he's
he
going
has?
off the deep end. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think he has CTE? Like everyone, like he said, like, hey, my bad. I got in a car accident like 20 years ago and whatever. Like,
I thought CTE was prolonged hits to the head, not one. But I know that there's not a lot of information about it.
It depends. If the original is like bad enough, that'll stick with you. Like I was like 8 years old. I fractured my skull, crack open, all the things, and I still, to this day will have symptoms or whatever. So I guess in that vein, I've had a crazy traumatic brain injury. I've actually had a few crazy traumatic brain injuries, and I'm not out here being like Kanye. So I think there comes when you're a celebrity and you got that much money and fame and attention, your brain isn't, and you have possibly some sort of issues. I don't know. His brain ain't functioning at 100%. That's sure.
I love celebrities.
There it is. I love it.
Celebrities love to do this shit. Like, remember when Tiger got caught banging every fucking thing in sight?
oh yeah,
It's like, I'm a sex addict. It's like you can't just say I like women. I think Kanye's using that as a nice excuse right now because he just had a come to Jesus moment and realized, man, I really look like an asshole over the years. Remember Kyrie Irving on the Knicks, Garrett?
yeah.
He was an anti-Semitic guy too, came out
Kyrie Irving on the Knicks? No, he wasn't on the Knicks.
The Nets.
The
Oh,
Nets.
Nets. Sorry, yeah, the Nets.
Yeah.
And
don't bring my beloved
Sorry,
Knicks
sorry.
into this bullshit.
but he said some similar shit like Kanye, and I still love Kyrie.
He didn't. But no. He didn't. He put up a post of like anti-Semitic, or I don't even know if it was. I never looked at it, but like supposedly it was anti-Semitic, and he got shit for it and whatever. But yeah, I get it.
Yeah, Kanye's way worse, no doubt.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys ever heard beyond the like he does have bipolar disorder that like Kim has confirmed, and he had meds. Beyond that, I don't know if you guys remember like Milo Yiannopoulos, who was like used to be a conservative commentator, like
Yes.
gay
Mhm.
conservative
Yes.
commentator.
Yep.
He has come out, and I just think he's so like irrelevant. Not a lot of people saw it, but he said that like
Come out
it's
as gay.
well known that Kanye's on laughing gas, like he's an addict to it, and that like this is well known in Hollywood, and that he's shown texts between him and Kanye where he is mad because he needs more because Milo also used to have this addiction, and basically says he thinks that that's what's led to. I mean, you take too much of that, it's like kills your brain cells or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
Is that
so-
the Michael Jackson propofol situation?
Yes.
Like,
so I think
okay.
that there's a ton of things that go into it, drug use beyond his own mental disorder. So I don't know, but I think he's crazy.
All true.
Garrett, do you forgive him?
No, fuck
Okay.
that.
Okay.
I don't think. I also don't think you get to use like, I don't know. I'm working on myself to just be a dick for a solid 15 years.
Yeah, right.
So, okay, fine. If what Brianna says is true and he's had a solid mental disorder for however long that he's had it for, like, then I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I keep saying your shit.
This-
Now I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care about Yeezys. I don't care about your storylines. I just don't care. But I was just curious if we forgive him yet, if we're going to forgive him again, because everybody keeps forgiving him for long periods of time. So I was just curious if
I think it's contingent on what he does after this. So you ask for forgiveness again, and it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm more inclined to be in your lane. Like, I'm over it. Like, homeboy should disappear for a minute, however long that it just disappear.
I did the best I could with his documentary. Like, I watched half his documentary.
I haven't watched that yet.
I felt bad for him when his mom died, like all that crap, and I did the best I could, and now I just don't give a shit. So, just curious what everybody thought.
Hard early.
The one thing that we all brought up or at least you guys brought up in the group chat, but it's something that I definitely wanted to chit chat about was the young kid Mason. He's a preacher or whatever. Joseph, if you want to bring that up and play that, we can take a look. Do we forget Israel yet? No, we did not.
Trish is just Trish. Remember when Trish died and then came back? Sassier than ever, dude.
I know. I love it.
I love it.
That are marrying each other that are gay, but they're allowing it in the home. And
no, you got to back up. You got to rewind.
This don't add up to me. I just want to point.
Hold on. Restart that shit.
There's people nowadays that are marrying each other that are gay.
Nope.
But they're allowing it in the home.
Go ahead, just take it off. Restart it. Like refresh. Take it off. You got to hear it from the beginning. But wait, what was this? Do we? Yeah, just wait. You gotta. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
Marrying each other that are gay.
Nope, that's not
But
the
they're
start.
allowing it in the.
What's the start?
The start is this whole. You gotta refresh it or something, or just.
There might be several clips. Has he got the right one?
No, I sent him the full clip. Yeah, there you go. Hit. Try that one.
That are marrying each other that are gay, but they're allowing it in the home.
All right, I'll pull it up.
And this don't.
I mean, this kid is
this is real?
insane. Yeah, it is. Is he?
At first, I thought it was AI, and then I sent it to Garrett, and she's like, "Yeah."
No, I've seen it multiple times.
What is he even saying? They're allowing it in the home. What was the first thing?
No,
he said?
you have to see the clip from the beginning.
Okay,
it's just
who is entrusting a
just let it
8-year-old?
Nah, bro. The beginning is the most important part of the shit.
Who's letting an 8-year-old be a preacher? Is it what? What are we doing? That's SNL, man. That ain't real.
You know what I mean? When I saw it, I literally thought of it as like, you know, when you're living vicariously through your kids and like the people in the South that like have their kids do football, right?
Yeah,
and it's their kid just eats, sleeps football, and they've started it since they were 4 years old, and that's all they know. They don't even know if they like it or not. They're just all right. Try it again.
People nowadays that are marrying each other that are gay.
All right, just let it go.
Allowing it in the home. And this don't add up to me. I just wanna point this out. It don't add up to me. You say that you're a Christian, right? Say that you're a Christian. I want you to listen to me good. You say you're a Christian. Hey. But you gay. You married a woman, you married a man, but you say you're a Christian. Wait a minute, now that don't add up. I mean, go read Leviticus 18 and 22 and see what it says. Go read Romans 1, 26 through 27 and see what it says. Be careful.
I mean, this kid is good.
Wow.
There's people nowadays.
He said, No, don't take it off, Joseph. Leave it. Joseph, go back. Don't take it. He said,
uncomfortable.
Go ahead, go back. Keep playing it,
uncomfortable.
Joseph. If you can keep playing it, if you like where you left off, like this kid is good. Go ahead. Okay, just let it go. Just let it go.
Allowing it in the home. And this don't add up to me. I just wanna point this out. This don't add up to me. You say that you're a Christian, right? Say that you're a Christian. I want you to listen to me good.
Just
you
watch
say
his
you're a Christian,
embellishments.
To listen
but
to
you
me.
gay.
Yeah,
But you
with the
gay.
mic.
You married a woman, you married a man, but you say you're a Christian. Wait a minute, now that don't add up. I mean, go read Leviticus 18 and 22 and see what it says. Go read Romans 1, 26 through 27 and see what it says.
Don't pause it. Just let it go.
Be careful you let the chamber of your marriage. there's people nowadays that are marrying each other that are gay, but they're allowing it in the home.
God, stop. Put us out of our
This don't
misery.
add
No,
up to
wait,
me. I
wait.
just wanna point this out. This don't
Wait.
add up to me. You say that you're a Christian, right? Say that you're a Christian. I want you to listen to me good. You say you're a Christian, but you're gay.
Oh, it goes just loops back. Oh, yeah, it's not the whole clip.
You
Okay,
married a woman.
I have
You
the whole
married a
clip.
man,
Never
but
mind.
you
Take
say
it down.
you're a Christian.
He like goes into it and he's just like and like he just like he's got all the mannerisms, he's got all of the verbal tones, he's got all of the
Wow.
like and it's dude, it's crazy.
Wow.
And no, not for 2 seconds do I not think that it's the parents doing it. I don't think any kid has any like, hey, look, I'm gonna go do this. And he's like, my daddy didn't tell me to do it. My mama didn't tell me to do it. The Lord called me.
Yeah, right. Listen,
And it's
when
like,
you're a preacher, you are responsible for your church and your flock, right? You're telling me that church, that congregation thinks that an 8-year-old, however old he is qualified to, and I hate using that term qualified, but like he's qualified to lead a congregation to, come on, man. That's someone said it. That's child abuse right there, man. Like when I was a kid, my dad would take us to this. It was called Teen Challenge. It was like dudes who were drug addicts, just going through it. Right? They had a home, like a shelter, and he would take us there, and we would like read a Bible verse. You know what I'm saying? Like we would read a Bible verse to these guys, and then like someone would preach or whatever. And we were like 10, 11, 12, but that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't, hey, get up there and start preaching about something you don't even understand yet. And that's.
if you believe in God Almighty, make sure you subscribe. For 99.
I'll say this. I think that I'll say a couple things. I don't think this is not, if you're Mormon, what this kid is doing is not crazy, because by the time you're 6 years old, you will be given talks and asked to speak in church. And they try to do that in order to gain public speaking skills for kids. And normalize it. Now they give you topics. They'll say, okay, talk about this verse or talk about this concept. But it would be very normal that at least once a month, someone from the age of 6 might be speaking at your church. And now they're usually not like that. They're very like simple. Their mom helped them write it. It's like 2 minutes long and you know what I mean? Whatever. Right. But I don't think it's crazy to have a kid speaking at church. And I don't think he's the pastor. I think he might have a speaking role where they call him up and it's like this bit, but I doubt, like this. I don't think he's the actual pastor.
Yeah, he's
now
not.
They might.
He was talking like he was a pastor.
He's good at it.
Yeah, and it might be their little bit. Like same thing with when those kids come up and speak. Or when I was called to speak when I was a young kid, you don't come up and you're doing your best. But I think that so like there's a comment, but yeah, I think it's a positive thing when it's like done right. I think this is a bit that the church, like clearly this congregation likes. I don't know if you heard them cheering. But I doubt he's the actual pastor. I think he's just a bit for that group. The other thing is, again, like sometimes I'm shocked about like your guys' experience with the world, because I do trust that you guys have a lot of experience with the world. But I have several family members that would probably look at this kid and think that this is awesome. And
so do I.
So yeah. And I think that there's a ton of Christians out there, and some of them hide it in public spaces where they wouldn't explicitly share they feel this way. But in their safe spaces, this is exactly how they feel. And they'd probably hit like on this video and think it was cool.
Oh, I don't for 2 seconds believe that they don't. Yeah, they absolutely do that. And I get it. And the number one thing is to say like, hey, pray away the gay. Like, and so they use that one. That's fine.
Did you try that, G? Or
I did. It did not take.
It didn't work. So for me, this is a perfect example of how easy it is to indoctrinate a human being that's young. And this poor kid, someone got to him, obviously, and someone's been teaching him this, because there's no way anybody would feel this way at that age unless somebody was telling it to him. And this is This
That's
is,
the
you
scariest
guys
part
know
right
I'm not
there.
religious, but I'm happy if people are, and I think it's great, whatever floats your boat. But this is a lot of the stuff, I'm very pro gay people, and a lot of Christians that I do know kind of feel this way, and it fucking always bugs me when I hear it. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, but just because like I'm not, and I did want to talk to you about this because I'm not anti like teaching your kids that. Like if that's what you want, I mean, I think it's way over the top, and I think they're using this kid for the clicks and views and whatever. And this kid is obviously
And it works.
a very talented kid. Like put him in a play, put him in like Macbeth or some shit like that, and
It's
he's
like
gonna
MLK.
rock. Yeah, he's a talented orator. Someone said Joel Osteen. Like, yeah, for sure. I'm not opposed to if you want to teach your kid. Oh God. If you want to teach your kid that you don't like your religion doesn't like gay people or you're not supposed to be gay or whatever, blah, blah. I'm not opposed to that. Like teach them whatever your teachings are. Like that's your belief. That's your whatever.
I would just say, where do you draw the line on what, I mean, I guess there, you can it can be your agreement to say there is no line, but what's the line in your head if it's okay to teach them that? What's your line on what you're allowed to teach your kid? Like that's fine to teach.
I'm allowed to teach my kid whatever I want.
Sure.
It's my kid. I'm allowed to teach him anything I want. Any values, principles that I have, I'm allowed to teach him whatever I want.
So would you be like, I mean, there has to be a line. Like if you look at the FLDS that live in Colorado that practice polygamy still and child marriage, and they're teaching those kids that that's okay. Like what is the line when it when it harms the child, and what creates harm now, physical
what are you
harm
asking
now,
me?
or mental harm later? I'm just wondering like where the line is.
Hold on. Wait. What are you asking me what the line is? Are you asking me what the line is about what I'm allowed to teach my own kid?
Yes.
Or are you asking me what is then there is none. I'm allowed to teach my child whatever I want. If you're asking me what the line is where I think like what morals should be taught, that's a completely different thing. And that's just my own life experience. But you are allowed to teach your own child whatever you want.
Yeah. I would just say like, okay. I mean, I agree with that. I would just say like, I think it is like, I think sometimes when you say that.
I tried to teach my kid to love Mets, and unfortunately,
that's tough, G. That's tough for anybody.
Yeah, man.
I think the line is like the Westboro Baptist Church. You guys know about them? I mean, their website is God Hates
I haven't heard about them in a minute.
They're just evil people.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
But I also like, I don't think that the people teaching this kid these things actually believe that stuff. I mean, I think adults in general know that gay people aren't born that way. Don't choose to be that way. They're born that way. And they just hide that fact, and they just try to pass that information on to younger kids. So it bothers me that they're doing that because they're lying to them. If they really believe that, and maybe some still do, okay, fine. And I agree with you, Garrett, but I think they're fucking liars and frauds. I think a lot of them are.
I'm so like this idea that you're going to teach everybody to like, okay, so fine.
I get that.
I teach my kid to love everybody, to be respectful, to, as long as people are respectful to you, be respectful, be respectful anyway, like whatever. To think that everybody teaches their kids that is ridiculous. And also there is no line when you're teaching your own child.
I just think that there is one. So, for example, like Kenneth talking, there's been cults in America where eventually the government steps in specifically when kids are involved in what people are teaching them. So that's why, like, Ruby Rose, Waco, and I know you're going to say that there's other elements.
They didn't step in because of what people were teaching them. They stepped in because of what was happening. People were marrying little children,
and the
that's
kids
way different
were so
than what I'm teaching
brainwashed
my
to
kid.
thinking that's what. Like, in a sense, that's teaching them, right? Like, if we were to say that it's illegal.
Girl, me teaching my kid, like if I taught my kid to hate brown people, that's not me physically harming my child.
If you toss to your kid and tell them to hate brown people and then they go punch or kill, someone at school because they're brown because you taught them that. I mean, like, I'm not saying like I'm trying to. I do think
I'm
that
just
it's an
saying
interesting
the idea that
concept.
trying
Yeah.
to stop people from teaching their kid, like, yeah, okay, fine. If that happened and my kid went and punched some, they'll face the consequences from whatever that is. And
Yeah, I think you have to actually tell your kid to punch them, though. If you just teach them, hey, we don't like black people, that's your prerogative. If you start telling them to commit violent acts, then you're liable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also look at it as how many things each one of us learned when we were kids, and luckily, society, the good part of society, kind of unlearned us. You know what I mean? We whatever we like. I grew up the same, not that level of that kid right there, but very similar teachings, stuff like that. Right? I had to unlearn that. Luckily, I had good people even in the church that helped me unlearn that. You know what I'm saying? So you know, you can teach your kid and should be able to teach them whatever you want. Hopefully, someday that gets unlearned. That kid unlearns that. Somebody schools them on, you know.
if that kid's being neglected, abused, whatever, like, yeah, law enforcement will step in, the government will step in, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But if they're not, and there's no, like, you can teach your kid whatever you want to teach them.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. And if you teach your kid to be hateful, that sucks.
I just wonder, because I'm just being the devil advocate with you here. I actually am.
No.
I'm a libertarian, so I'm like not for government overreach. I'm just trying to be the devil's advocate. What's the definition of abuse then? Because if you look at someone like what was that girl's name that was her mom made her think she was sick and everything?
Ruby Rose, you were right.
No,
Or
Gypsy Rose. That was her
Gypsy
name,
Rose.
right?
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Her
Yeah.
parents, like, in a sense, what they're teaching her is that she's sick and she's incapacitated and she has to live this life. She ended up killing her mom, and she was the one that convicted. But the argument was she was being abused all those years, right? Even though
Yeah,
her
I
mom
think
was,
that's legit abuse, though.
yeah. So
That
I
was.
just wonder, like,
Yeah,
I think so too.
what
Yeah.
is the definition? The Menendez brothers, was that abuse? What, you know what I mean? Like, different things that happen there, which is where they end up getting convicted because the kid like you said, the kid faces the consequences of them committing the violence you taught them, right?
Yeah.
And so why is it always the kid facing the consequences of what the parent taught them at some point, whether they taught them they were sick, whether they taught them this feeling, whether they taught them to hate someone, and eventually it results in the kid acting out in some way against the parent or against who they were taught to hate or whatever, right? And it's the kid
Bree, I'm
that
curious
faces the
here.
consequences.
I
And
think
not
life
the parent.
sucks. Life
Right,
sucks.
I'm curious to your solution to that,
parallels.
because when I hear everything you're saying, I don't think you're like way off or anything. But the problem is, once government gets involved, then it becomes a mess usually, and a slippery slope, because then what one person defines as abuse, the other one says no. So then, you know, there's no. We just have to accept the fact that there are going to be shitty parents. There are going to be wrong things taught to kids, and hopefully those kids come across a better example, better people someday that can unlearn them of that.
Yeah. I'm, like I said, I'm very limited government. I don't think government getting involved is the solution pretty much ever. I'm just kind of, I guess I was just trying to be the devil's advocate on the idea of I can just teach my kid whatever. Even though I do believe that, I think that unfortunately the way the world falls is that consequence of that almost always inevitably ends up on the kid and never the parent that incited that.
Yeah, I just think that's just the roll of the dice, unfortunately. Like Jeremy said, there's nothing you're gonna do. It's always gonna be like that.
And it's scary as hell when you are a parent, because you think about those things, right?
Yeah.
Who your kids are going to be hanging out with, and you don't know those kids' parents, and things aren't like the back in the 90s, you know, the good old days where you did know everybody on the block. You know what I'm saying? Like your parents or their parents, whether they were like real friends or not, they knew who Vincent's parent down the block was. You know what I'm saying? And they either say, yeah, you're good to hang out with them or not. But now it's a lot different. So it's scary as hell. But that's just, yeah, you just got to roll the dice as a parent. Don't have kids, Bree. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Where's Meg's comment? So like that's because her mom had a mental health issue. So okay, so then how far does the mental health issue roll? Like if your mom has Munchausen by proxy or whatever the hell that she has, or some like whatever, and then the kid is like, oh, I can kill the mom because she did this to me, but the mom had a mental health issue. So did the mom deserve to die? Like,
The mom probably shouldn't have deserved to have the kid. They should have pulled the kid out if she was
right. But that's the thing. You can go down this rabbit hole, like who deserves what.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know what I mean? And that can even go into the politics that we're about to talk to tonight. Like everybody can have a mental health issue, and probably everybody fucking at this point, with all the shit that's been happening in Minnesota, like everybody in Minnesota probably does have a mental health issue.
No one can see it, but Joseph was pointing to himself.
Can you pull up Bernie's comment? I just need to break the misinformation.
Okay, go ahead. Wait. You're gonna break misinformation with the Bernie Yannon? Go ahead.
Yes,
I love it.
It's tough to do.
Let's go.
The FLDS and the LDS are two separate churches. Warren Gate, or whatever his name was, that led those people, is excommunicated and completely disavowed from the church. It has nothing to do with the LDS people. The LDS people do not practice polygamy. The modern LDS church, since America has banned polygamy, so did the LDS church. So that came at the same time. So what that church does is the equivalent of saying, oh, what happened at Waco is what Christians did. Like, they might have claimed to be this, but the LDS church has completely excommunicated Warren Jeffs and all the people that follow his teachings. So do not say LDS and do not say Mormons. That is not, and don't bring polygamy into it.
Boom, burn.
Mormons do not.
Yeah, your face, Bernie.
Hey, I had a question for all you guys.
Well, then you better tell the media to stop pumping all the documentaries about the LDS and the freaking and Warren Jeffs and all that shit, because that's all we know about it.
And they claim it. Of course they do. I understand the confusion, but the answer would be like, do you watch a Waco documentary and say, damn, this is what Christians do? Like, you know what I mean? No, it's just some weird sect that decided to do their own thing as a cult, right? Like, that's not anything to do with the actual church.
All right.
That's fair.
Hey, here's a question, and specifically even for Pat, who is you don't believe or whatever. Excuse me. Do you guys feel that the further, and maybe this is even like not even fair to ask, but like, do you feel the further we drifted from like a
hold on?
Oh, someone's gone. We got our caller.
What's up?
Hola. My name is Carlos.
Hi, Carlos.
I'm from Spain. I'm calling from España. How are you?
Good. How are you?
This is our version of Pedro.
My English is very little bit. How is everyone doing? Jeremy, Pat, Brenna, G. How are you all doing?
What's up, yo?
Carlos, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú?
Ah, muy bien. ¿Qué es tu problema? ¿Por qué tú llamas todas las semanas?
Bien. So,
you don't speak Spanish.
No, he doesn't speak Spanish, bro.
Sí, I do speak Spanish. Sí, hablo niño. Vea la chingada.
Okay.
First words. Cool. Go ahead.
You just turned
What's up?
Korean.
What do you need? Yeah.
So I think Francisco Franco is absolutely correct.
You brought this dude up once before.
See, because he was correct in his policies.
Okay.
Are you Pedro's son?
Example.
I like Donald Trump. I like Donald. Give us an example of how he was correct in his policies. He was nationalistic for España. He didn't want it to be sold out to the French.
What?
That Spanish accent went away pretty quick, right?
Yeah,
there.
I was gonna
Started talking
say.
about Donald Trump.
Oh, carajo. But I do like Donald Trump.
Is this
I'm
cross
also
that?
wondering, is this like a Spanish accent? It sounds like a
It's good. He's
Mexican
supporting
accent.
people. I'm not a Mexicano. Soy Mexicano. Sí, castellano.
Oh, they pronounce their L's differently, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, any Spanish people I know.
Yeah,
I don't have the Barcelona. I'm not from Barcelona. I'm from Malaga.
You don't speak the King's Spanish?
I don't speak Malaga. I don't speak
What's the
that
capital of Spain?
Barcelonian crap. Madrid.
Yo, gringo. Cool. That was fun. I had a great time.
I'm from Malaga.
All right.
Hasta la vista, amigo.
In the south of España.
All right, bro. Thank you.
Adios,
Ciao.
Cabron.
All right, Gabe. All right,
That's
Sevan. We
cool.
know it's you.
that would be funny. Anyway, to finish my question, do you feel
go
the
ahead.
further
Sorry.
we've drifted away from a Judeo-Christian type of value system, so on and so forth, the more problems seem to occur in our society? Do you think like the bedrock of our country for a very long time was, I'm not saying everyone was a Christian, but like the values that you can derive from things in the New Testament or even the Old Testament, the Ten Commandments? Do you feel like the further we've kind of gotten away from that, the more problems we see in society, or do you just think it's always been this way? We just see it more because social media, things like that.
Yeah, I think the latter, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of good things with religion. I think most people that are religious are very good people. It's just not for me. You know, people always, oh, Pat hates religion, hates on Christians. Absolutely not. I was born into a Catholic family. I was confirmed. I went through all the shit. I just never bought into it. It just wasn't for me. But I do think, I tell you one thing, growing up in my house, my parents were they both believe in God, and they made me do all the religion stuff, but they never talked. I never had to read the Bible. I never had to. So I guess we were kind of like half religious, and I never knew about the gay thing until I was like 17 or 18 and somebody told me. I never even heard of it. I didn't know that it was wrong. So I guess I was just lucky. I was brought up in a house that said, hey, believe in God and be nice to people. I just never believed in God. But Jeremy, I think there's merit to that point.
That was a good answer, dude. Good stuff.
Where's Trish? Trish talking a lot of shit. Walked into
She's
the
so
wrong.
sassy, dude.
I know. Walk into the wrong Zoom call. Corey, can we talk about? Or no, Megan, can we talk about Jody Hildebrandt? She was a hot lesbian mess. That's the chick.
Jody Hildebrandt.
Yeah, she.
The name rings a bell.
It was a documentary, and she like was Mormon, and she got this like influencer mom to come into that chick. Like she was,
yeah, I remember reading about this. Yeah.
Looks rough.
She was nuts. She just
She ain't hot.
Looks like Pat's type right there.
They casted the
She
girl in the
wasn't
movie.
hot.
The person they
She
played
just-
her, I will say, was like they casted somebody. I feel like they did like a TV show about it too.
Yeah.
And they casted someone a lot cuter.
That looks like Monster. What was that movie? Monster with
Oh, Charlize.
Yeah, Charlize
Charlize,
Theron.
the
Yeah.
girl.
That's my girl.
That's what that looks like.
Trish said something back up at the top. I want to bring that up because I wanted to ask you guys a question. She said something like how Trump will, if they weren't, I don't know. What did you say, Trish? You'll learn it in Trump's America, or these kids will learn it in Trump's America, or some shit.
Oh, about the hating gays.
Yeah. So I want to ask you guys this: like,
Do you think Trish was being serious?
No.
Probably no. But
Trump doesn't hate gays.
but it leads into Trump's America will teach them that. Yeah. But it leads into the question that I want to ask, because I really do want to know: do you legitimately think Trump's racist or he's a misogynist? Do you legitimately think that?
I don't think.
No to the first, probably to an extent in the second one. Misogyny. Look, the guy is 80, right? 80 or so. Very, very well off, very rich, and he has been his whole life. Typically, these type of guys, I don't think he necessarily looks down on women, but does he respect them the same way he respects a man? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think he's racist. I could see possibly some misogyny there, but I mean, nothing that like alarms me. Nothing that's like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like most men have a level of misogyny, to us where, we're working on it. You know what I'm saying?
You guys watch Bill Maher ever? Probably not. Okay.
I do now.
Do you remember when he went to the dinner at the White House? He got invited.
Yeah.
He came back on his show and he was like, guys, he ain't the same guy in private that he is that you're seeing on TV. And that was a pretty telling episode. I don't think he's racist. I think he's probably a good guy. I think he's got people, in my opinion, he's got the wrong people telling him to do some things. And I definitely don't think he's a pedophile. I don't think that he might have known what was going on there like a million other fucking people in Hollywood, but I don't think he's guilty of doing anything like raping little girls or banging 15 or 16-year-old girls. I just don't think that was him.
Brianna?
I think that it's a tough subject. Because I think that like I don't really love the isms and ists because it is a spectrum. Like, do I think for his time of people his age that I know, he's probably like some of the least racist, sexist people of that age. I think I know that me and my brother have a joke that like my brother hangs out with these like old white guys at like this place he goes to watch the football games, and his joke is to bring up Lamar Jackson because they'll always say that like he just doesn't look like a quarterback, and like like it's just like their favorite thing to say, you know what I mean? And it's like we joke about it and they love Josh Allen, but is that racist, or they just have this weird old framework in their head, right? And I think Trump has a lot of that when it comes to race. And I think he has a lot of that when it comes to women. I think certain laws he's passed has concerned me about women, and I think have been attacks on women indirectly.
Can you name
But
them?
yeah, I think him reframing what's a professional degree, specifically the degrees he chose, are in women-controlled fields, nursing, education, things like that. So I think are indirect attacks, but I think are. Hi. And I would say
Hello,
that
everyone.
like
That's back.
my final thought on this though is that I think Trump is so above that because I think racism and misogyny and all the ists are lower class topics that are used to divide middle and lower class, and Trump could care less about whether someone is a woman or black or gay or whatever if they're somehow helping him get more power and more money. And so I don't know what he thinks in his private life, but if a woman comes up to him and says, here's a chance for you to get more power and more money, she's his best friend, and he has a lot of respect for her suddenly. So I think that is all that he cares about, and whoever is delivering him those opportunities, he is a big fan of.
Cross that. You got something open, bro.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just
yeah.
I sent you a little private chat there.
You got a little feedback.
Still?
Do you have a fan on the computer? Oh,
there we go.
Just like that, it's gone.
It's good?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
I didn't do anything.
Oh, somebody fixed it. Good job,
Joseph
whoever
did
fixed it.
Give Joseph a raise.
Bam. There we go. No,
Bree,
crossbat has to be in the middle because he maintains civility on this show and balance on this show. So
it looks cool. It's like high and then low in the middle. I like it.
It was really, really peaceful on my drive in. You guys are like super civil tonight, so I think it's
gonna be we haven't gotten into it. I'm about to. I was waiting for you to jump on the screen before we did this.
Thanks.
We did a group hug before
you
got
we did.
here. That's what it was.
It felt like that.
Saying kumbaya.
What? Okay, so we went through that. We all agree that most likely we probably don't agree that he's racist or misogynist, right? Like he's probably not.
If he's anything, he's egotistical, and that's to be expected.
Olivia said Trump loves pretty women.
He's an alpha. Yeah,
he's an alpha.
So do I, Olivia. So do I. I'm just missing.
Then there was something else. I wanted to ask that, but then there was something else I heard, which I want to lead into the next conversation. Is do you guys? I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine in the deli today, and he and I can talk politics, and everything's very civil. He is a little bit more left leaning than me. Whatever, we have good conversations. We were talking about ICE, and he literally said that ICE was just created. So does everybody know when ICE was created? Because I was
about 20 years ago.
What is his definition of just created? Like within the year or something?
Yeah.
It was
2003. 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
March of 2000.
Not just created.
Yeah. Right.
Huh.
So when
if that's just created, I was just created.
Yeah, right. That's like your birthday.
But I do believe that there are people out there that actually believe that ICE was literally created to do this right now.
They're fucking
okay, you can say that, but that's what our media is doing to us at this point.
I mean, it definitely got like a big rebrand, right? Like, I don't think an ICE agent was ever really on anyone's radar of like career paths, right? And then, Trump definitely like pumped it up, offered up the big bonuses, right? Huge salaries, and like that was never a thing before, right? Like they are not. What was it like $50,000 bonuses is what they were giving out, right?
Yeah.
Like when I joined the army, I think it was a $15,000 bonus, and that was like huge, right?
You got
and
Jib,
you
former.
see,
What the hell?
Yeah, bro,
and
I
you
got
see-
40.
Are you
Whoa.
kidding me? You got 40
Yeah.
grand?
Yeah.
Well, no, you got. Here's what you got. You got half of that. You got half of that, and then you got it in quarters. But
No, I didn't.
Well, it
I
was
got
more than
half,
you.
and then I got half.
well, yeah, but you pay tax on the bonus.
Yeah, but not in quarters. And like it wasn't. No, bro, I was balling. I was big balling
Joseph,
at an
that's
age
because
that I
you
shouldn't have been
joined in
big balling at.
1955,
What?
Joseph said, "Bro, I got 4,000." I said, "That's because you joined in 1965."
Kind of said 40 seems light. Damn.
Wow.
What was
Yeah,
your job?
that's true. Bonus depends on what your classification was. I was not a captain, bro, but my job was not like nobody wanted to do the job. But go ahead.
No, I
Where
think
were we
I
at?
just think it's got like a big rebrand, right? Like the ICE agent was never like a thing you heard about, right? Like it wasn't advertised. And then also like I think the big thing now is the deputy commander, that wasn't a thing, and they're just getting rid of it now, supposedly.
Is that the Bolivar, whatever his name is?
Yeah, whatever is the trench
Yeah.
coat dude. Like that's no longer going to be a thing. They're just getting, he's getting sent back to wherever he was before,
California.
and he's just going to be a regular agent. But that position isn't like being replaced. It's just okay. Now the border czar is running the show.
Tom.
Tom,
Yeah,
yes.
I think like you're saying, they had to create some position because obviously things were ramped up to do this compared to what they've been dealing with in the past. I've been dealing with ICE since I got into the business I'm in, and so they've definitely been around, like you said, 2020, 2003. Where did that guy get that information from? I've watched a fair share of cable news over the last couple of weeks. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that.
A lot of people are saying it. It's all over IG.
Was
Like,
what
That he got demoted?
Some person like saying it random, like that goes viral, or are you
Talking
actually
about when it was created? Is that what you're
when
talking
ICE
about?
was created?
I mean,
No,
This
a
is the
lot of
first time
people
I've
are-
heard that.
A lot of people believe that.
Wow.
I've seen it on social media a ton. So that's just what
Here's the
people
thing
believe.
though, if you hear something, this is what's so bizarre to me. Hey, I heard that ICE was just created. You know the first thing I'm gonna do? Google it.
Yep.
Look it up, people. When was ICE created? Matter of fact, that's what I did. When was ICE created? March 2003. Oh, and then maybe fact check that if you have. I don't know, but like to hear something and just be like, "Yep, that's what it is," and then argue with somebody. Come on, like do some research, people. What are we doing in America? That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, CJ, I get what you're saying. All over IG equals a certain algorithm. Yeah,
Mhm.
I absolutely understand that, but that's where most people are getting their shit from, which is unfortunate because it's, and then the next thing that he told me immediately was like, well, the ICE that were trained when they came to your house was different than the ICE that are trained now. And I'm like, okay, that might be possible. Like they might have influxed a ton of ICE agents that weren't, trained for years to do this, but like,
they need a lot more. So there's still a lot of fairly tenured ICE agents that are doing these door-to-door things or in the middle of the street shit. Like the guy who shot Nicole or Renee Good was a 8-year veteran, so he's been doing it for a while. But yeah, I mean, the fact that they're throwing 50 grand at people means we need people, so they're hiring lots of new people.
right.
And as far as their training goes, like here's another thing. Like you hear 47 days. Is that true? Is that just a social media bullshit fake news thing? Who knows? I mean, only the people that actually do the training. So you'd have to actually talk to someone who just got hired, and how long was it until they actually were put on the street?
Yeah, but this is the thing, Megan. Fine, he went from 45 days training to 47 now. G, But I'm talking about in like 2003. Someone saying like they're saying that they got trained better in 2000, like when they first started, than they are getting training now.
Listen,
I don't
here.
know if that's the case, but that's the like information that's going around right now.
Sure. Think about this. You go to basic training for the Army, 9 weeks, if I remember.
Yeah.
That was 20 some years ago, 9 weeks. And then you have an additional, depending on your MOS, the job specific, the job you chose, you have a couple more weeks. So you're lucky if you have, let's say, 15 weeks of training. And then you go sometimes to war. You know what I'm saying? Like you go from basic training, AIT, for your MOS, you get stationed somewhere. And a friend of mine, we graduated 03. He did basic training AIT. He was in Iraq in 03. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's that fast. Was he properly trained? I hope so. So everyone's saying, oh, the ICE agents aren't being trained enough. They're not being trained enough. Hey, man, somebody, maybe it's wrong, but someone decided, I've seen reports of anywhere from 27 to 71 weeks of training. But someone, it sounds like it's somewhere in the middle, 40 something. If someone decided, hey, this is appropriate amount of training to get them in the foot in the door, okay, let's go with that. Now, what I'd like to see, just like with our police officers, can we get better ongoing training? Can we get better accountability so we're not seeing donut eating 300-pound sorry, I was reading the comments. Donut eating
stop, dude.
Police
Jeremy,
officers.
that's an interesting point. I haven't seen that many fat ICE agents, like truly fat ICE agents.
Same.
Yeah, not a lot of not
but
obese.
still-
I've seen some like just
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen some
guys that are
tortas,
There's
but not like fat
Would you call them tortas?
tortas.
like
Oh, that's funny. I never heard that.
like I don't even think the problem's with the training. I mean, I feel bad for these guys that they're just being asked to do these things that they weren't doing before. That's my issue with it. Is that hey, you're gonna just start stopping people that you think might not be citizens and get into it with them. That's my problem, and you're putting them in a bad situation.
That's not happening.
Are we
Yeah,
to
it's
the
not-
point yet? Like,
Not on
I
the level that
agree.
you say it is.
Oh, it's happening, buddy.
G, what were you
You-
saying?
I was gonna say, you guys sent me when the shooting first happened. You guys sent it to me, and I said, "Yo, like that's a bad look. Like that's a horrible situation." My thing, and I want to know what you guys think. For me, I'm just getting tired of our government leaders putting us out there as cannon fodder. Like our civilians are going out there trying to defend all these people, and they're going out there into situations that they also haven't been trained for. Like, how many of these protesters have been trained to deal with other people that are armed? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And go out there and be armed to deal with other people who are armed. Like, the civilians haven't been trained either. So if you want to talk about ICE training, like nobody's calming this shit down. And I just feel like our leaders should be calming. I feel like the Minnesota government should be calming this shit down. I feel like Trump should be calming this shit down.
They're trying. Minnesota tried to make their
No.
police. Yes, Minneapolis police were told to not. Oh my gosh, this is like fact. They were told to not help with the protest.
That's not helping.
That's not helping.
Exactly.
That's
I
the
think it's
opposite
not
of
helping,
helping.
but who was
I
telling
think in
them?
the past-
federal government and federal agents were telling the Minneapolis police to not get involved. So
Okay,
yes,
well, then
I do
I-
think they should be involved, but they're being
Oh,
told
okay.
by a higher power to not be.
Okay, my bad. I didn't
Yeah,
understand what you
that
were
was my
saying.
point there. I
Okay, my
agree
bad.
with you.
Yeah.
There should be as many people helping to create peace, and it seems like there's almost this want for chaos. And I'm sorry, but I think this is a trend with Trump. Do we not know who is the president during the BLM riots? And you can say it's two different.
It is a trend with
issues,
Trump, and I
but
don't
I
want
think
to
it's
cut you
a
off, but
trend of
that's the
chaos
problem.
within.
That's the problem. It's not. It's okay. I got to calm down. Trump is not inciting chaos. People
Europe will.
hate Trump so much. People hate Trump so much that they incite the chaos. That is almost non-debatable
all-
that Fry and Waltz, and there's videos with Maxine Waters, all sorts of politicians just inciting violence and all this stuff. So just because you hate somebody doesn't give you the right to incite all this bullshit to, like, That's where the horrible lack of leadership is where the blame lies. Whether you like Trump or not, that's just fact. Go ahead, Will.
I think.
Wait, let Pat go. Pat hasn't.
He's like,
what is going on,
Pat's
Pat?
like
You want to go?
stewing.
You've been
good.
so quiet.
Let it
Like, what's
rip.
happening right now?
All right. So the situation is this: you have an agitator.
That's fact.
You have an agitator that's causing all these problems that we've never seen before in the history of the 23 years, and ICE has been deporting millions of people forever. So something new is obviously happening. Nobody ever protested before. Nobody, at least not at this level. Nobody ever had a problem with ICE, at least not at this level. It was just done and it happened. And now there's a major difference in the way this operation has unfolded. Now, it might not be, it may not be training. It probably is a little bit of both, but they're being told to go out there and they are absolutely agitating. And if you don't think that, I think you're a little bit crazy, buddy. And the fact is, when an agitator starts a problem, then it's up to the person who sent the agitators out there to then say, pull back. We need to shut this down for a little bit, like Garrett said. It's not the job of the governor of Minnesota to tell protesters to not use their First and Fourth Amendment rights. It is their job to say, you lay a hand on law enforcement, you're going in. That's a fact, and I agree with that. But if you're standing on the sidewalk and some douchebag walks up to you and floors you because you have a phone, you are going to enrage millions, and they are then going to come out in droves. And that is what has happened. And now people are dying because of it.
What do you think that they got there? And Bernie said it, and I think so too. I don't think that they've gotten their martyr yet. They got a white woman who was a lesbian. Okay, cool. So you got like half the martyr you wanted. Then you got a white guy that's a veteran, that's a nurse, that like whatever. I just don't think that they have their martyr yet to stop the shit. Like, I think if they had got their martyr that they wanted on the first go, I don't think that they give a fuck about American life or about their people in their state. I don't think Minnesota does. I really don't.
Okay. So I'm gonna I like asking questions with it, like with problems like this, right? So like one, like what's ICE's mission, right? I'm asking that to the group.
Find illegals and deport them.
Okay. Specifically, right? Like if you had, if there were illegals, they self-deported. That was a thing, right? People said, hey, hands up, I'm getting out of here, right? I would say those are non-violent illegal immigrants that like, yep, I'm cool, I'm going to get out, I'm going to leave, right? The ones that aren't leaving, would you say for the most part, either A, don't want to be found and they're up to, doing their normal, right, business, want to be doing their things, or, right, they're here and they're violent people, right?
No.
So
not at all.
What are there's no violent people?
Oh no,
there are, but I wouldn't say those are two options.
So those ones, right? You have to be prepared to use violence, right? That's what the ICE agents are trained for, or should be trained for, right? Like they have to be prepared for that. That's why they come in and they're prepared to use violence, right? And I think Garrett's point of these, like the civilian population, like why does that keep getting weaponized against, right, our agencies and whatnot, and like the government's pitting, both sides, left and right, are pitting the civilians versus, right, like, the ICE agents that are enforcing these things against each other, and the civilians aren't ready for violence. If you have untrained or less than ideally trained people for violence, right, like bad things are bound to happen. And I think with like this situation of, the second shooting, from what I saw on videos, it looked like the gun was removed, right, by an agent on the outside of it, right, grabbed the gun from his holster, pulled it away while the conflict was still going on. I don't think any one of the people that were grabbing him saw them remove the gun, right?
Nope.
And I think if you watch it slowly, it looks like he NDs, the guy who removed the gun, pulls it out and accidentally pulls the trigger.
Yeah,
I think that's the official story. Yes.
Shoots into the ground. I think that's what everyone agreed. Like, is that agreed upon? Is that factual yet?
I believe that's factual.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. If that's factual, right? you go in, you grab it. What's the number one rule of like gun safety, right? Keep the finger off the trigger unless you want to, shoot to kill or destroy the thing that you're pointing it at, right? Bam, cool. NDs, all those guys here that are in the group, one dude pulls and right, like he's shot, right? Shots are fired. Cool. I'm going to get rid of the threat. That's a problem, right? I think the blame's more so on the person that took the gun and ND'd it, and then also the one that ends up, pulling the trigger. But I think now
I'm not mad at the first shot. Like he, all right. So the misfire happens, and then the guy shoots. There's one shot, right? Shoots him. I can understand that, right? Like my brain can wrap around that. I can't wrap around like the 5 other times after that.
Yeah.
Like that's hard for me to wrap around.
Yeah.
Also,
But
as an agent of the law, just because you hear a gunshot doesn't mean you just start firing. I mean, they had that guy in the ground. Both his hands were on the ground. He had a cell phone in one and the other one, nothing. They knew he didn't have a gun. As a matter of fact, nobody knew he had a gun until that guy grabbed it because he never brandished it. The gun is irrelevant, if you ask me, in this entire story, until the guy pulled it out.
Yes.
So it's clearly a homicide.
Yeah. I mean,
no, it's
I think the reason why Pat is saying the gun is irrelevant
they killed him.
is because the story that's being
Okay.
pushed is they did this because he had a gun.
That's bullshit.
And he didn't have a gun until that moment. Well,
Yeah, we knew.
in their eyes, he didn't have
Okay,
a gun
so fine. They
to their
didn't know he
knowledge
had.
until that moment.
DHS is completely lying. We know that. That's a fucking fact, and they should be ashamed for that. I'm
But
sorry.
so's the left wing. Like the left wing media is lying too.
I don't
like,
care
they're
about
not telling. Neither side
they're-
is telling the entire
The
story.
DHS is the government, though. I don't care. I don't listen to the media. I try to listen to the government. Let's tell us the truth, government. Tell us the truth. You're leading us, and you're telling us that he's a domestic terrorist, and now you can't have guns. Holy shit! I feel like my head's about to explode because now I'm hearing the right wing tell me that you can't legally carry your weapon anymore.
Would you not say though that the government and the media are almost synonymous?
It shouldn't be, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
I got to hold your government.
It shouldn't be, but is it?
Is Christy Nome? I mean, goes out there and flat out lies to our faces, and we're gonna compare her to Rachel Maddow? Hell no.
Oh, dude, you're not gonna say that the left wing media came out and
Dude,
lied to our fucking
Rachel
faces about
Maddow
what
is
happened?
It's the media. That's the media.
It doesn't.
right?
Look, I
does.
disagree with what Cash Patel came
Okay.
out and said some dumbass shit.
Yeah,
too,
he's
and
a
I was like,
moron.
what
I
the fuck?
disagree with the director of the FBI. He's not a media personality that's allowed to have this biased, twisted opinion. Like to me, when we talked
Okay,
about
but
earlier,
the media and okay, so you're not gonna say like what the government officials in Minnesota are coming out and saying is absolutely atrocious.
What are they saying?
yeah,
No, just coming out and being like weaponizing us and sending us into the streets and like, hey, put your body in front of them. Don't do this, but like all this shit. That's fine.
I mean, you got to give me a quote. I mean, I know that they're telling
Therein
people
lies
Did you-
what
okay,
I've been
fine.
trying
You
to
use your
get
First
at.
and Fourth
I'll
Amendment
find it.
rights.
I'll find it. Fine.
Just use your First and Fourth Amendment rights and don't touch law enforcement.
I also-
Did you guys
Therein
hear
lies
this
what the
conversation?
point
I got
that I've
him.
been trying to make is that we can on one hand acknowledge that this was a bad shooting. I've said it. This was a bad shooting. The gun discharged. They heard the word gun, then they hear a fire, and they reacted, in my opinion, poorly. Now I'm not out there. I can't say, well, they should have, could have. We can armchair quarterback the hell out of it. But at the end of the day, 18 years ago, when Obama was doing the same thing, using the same people to do it, the media didn't say anything. Matter of fact, they gave the director of Homeland or whatever he is, Tom Homan, they gave him an award. There was no media obstruction. There were Democrat, Republican city mayors, governors cooperating. They were deporting people. Hold on. They were deporting people by the masses 18 years ago. Fast forward, we don't like the guy that's now doing it.
Wrong.
So Democrat mayors are going to raise hell And instead of them being out there, they're going to get these oftentimes mentally unstable. I don't know how this young man, the Preddy that died, I don't know what his mental bandwidth was, but we're going to get a lot of useful idiots to get out there and obstruct and get in the way and throw bricks at and so on and so forth. And this isn't to excuse some of the things that maybe we've seen, some of the tactics that ICE has used, but it's not your job to get out and get in their way. And it's definitely not the job of governors and mayors and state officials to promote getting in the way, obstructing, resist, abolish ICE, trying to create laws that would abolish ICE. That is what's led to
all these fuckers are
the
like
one
that,
girl
man.
die and then this young man. That's what's led to these deaths. That 100, you cannot deny that is what's led to these deaths that were not happening 18 years ago when the government, when the media wasn't firmly in the left wing's pocket.
I think
this is just okay. Talk. This is just. I just completely disagree. I couldn't believe more. I think that's completely false.
I think we're being played by the fiddle perfectly by both sides, right? Like, I mean, look at yesterday, right? Tim Walz and Trump talked on the phone, and they've now all of a sudden they've come to a conclusion, and Tim's going to allow the federal agents to move into Fort Snelling and house there instead, and going to cooperate a little bit, and they're going to work together for this whole thing. Like, I think we're all being played exactly as we're supposed to. Like, Matt Souza talked about it the other day on a show, and him and Taylor kind of got into a spat about it. But I think Matt's big thing is he talks about the deficit, right? And keeps bringing that up. And like, I think it's business as usual. It's just a different flavor. And the other side is, one side's happy and one side's pissed off right now. And it keeps flipping back and forth. And it's what they can get away with, right? And it's how much authoritarianism, right, either side can get away with. And this is all my opinions are completely satirical and not mine.
So I'll just say something.
Go ahead.
Even though this podcast and this group makes me and Pat the resident liberals, we are not. And so this is like, I sometimes feel like when the rhetoric is like the other side, I am not the other side at all. I feel like there's a quote that we used to have on shirts when I did campaigning was not left, not right, but free. And that is like how I feel. I will say this, talking about the difference between Obama, and just because they're using the same agency being ICE does not, and just because deportations are both happening does not mean that the things were the same. Obama ICE era was more targeted and priority based on criminals and recent border crossings. That's why a lot of people say Obama stats aren't great, because a lot of it was just like you came in and then 5 minutes later you were put away, right? So those are his priority, new border crossings and criminals. Trump era ICE is broader, more aggressive, more visible. We're having workplace raids. This never happened under Obama, or we're very limited unless we knew a criminal were there. Home raids. This was not a normal priority thing happening under Obama. So both administrations deported people correctly, but how they did it and who was being targeted is what's changed. Again, serious criminals, gang member, recent border crossings versus undocumented residents of any kind, people with no criminal history, parents of U.S. citizen children in some cases. And now we're getting more random and collateral arrests due to these different operations that are going on. So I just think that because of that, I mean, I think we bring up Obama had a lot of arrests, but he did have less arrests than Trump has had. And a higher percentage than the Trump deportations have to do with people with serious convictions. Trump has had more people with low-level offenses, which you can say is fine. But I think my point in this is saying that there were completely different strategies, and saying Obama did it differently. And we need to stop with the rhetoric that it's just the same thing that happened then and it's happening now, and the media is just lying about it. It's just not true.
All right, let me add on to what you're saying. Let me help you out here. So when Trump and Obama and Biden deported people, ICE would sit down and they would say, one of their offices, and say, all right, we got 6 guys on the list today. These are the guys we're going after. We have judicial signed warrants to go to where they live because they know where they live and they know where they live now. And they would go to their house, they would knock on the door, and they would get them and they would take them out. Now they go out and they literally go to a Home Depot and they say, hey, where were you born? They're actively just profiling everybody. Jeremy, listen to me. This is why you
sign
get
off early tonight.
This is why you get these violent skirmishes, is because you have people
Not because they're
just
criminals, because they're
questioning
going
what?
to Home Depot.
What's
Not
that?
because they're criminals, but because they're going to Home Depot.
No, Jeremy, they're literally asking people in the parking lot, where were you born? They don't have a targeted, most of these times, they're not targeted people. They're literally just asking people where they were born and trying to trick them into saying, oh, I was born in Mexico, and then they detain them. It's different. It's not even closely the same. And when you operate like that, you make a lot of mistakes. Jeremy, it's my turn. You make a lot of mistakes. And they are making so many mistakes that now you have thousands of people seeing it. They start taking videos. It starts going on social media. And now everybody sees this. And let me just say one more thing. The reason a lot of this shit is happening, let's take this guy's killing the other day. That ICE agent walked up to that woman and just floored her. She was at least 50 feet away from where they were actually operating. He saw them filming. They were standing on the side of the street, and he literally just physically floors this woman. And then Alex guy walks over and he gets pepper sprayed and he tries to get in front of him from pepper spraying the woman, and then it all goes to hell. You tell me in what world a police officer is allowed to do that? Because when they do that in the real world, they get fired. There is no accountability for these ICE agents, and we're seeing it a lot. And they have immunity. Our vice president told us that. And if you tell them they have immunity, they're going to do whatever the fuck they want.
I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 48 hours we see some more things come out about it, considering what's his name is essentially getting fired and getting canned, right? Removed from the situation. Like, I think Trump's going to have to backpedal a little bit on this. And he might finally admit it.
Yeah, you can. Hold on one second. I want to say, hey, I did not make you and Pat my resident liberals. The only reason like I asked you on the show is because we have difference of opinions and we can talk about them without being ridiculous to each other.
No, I know.
I think it's a comment.
I just mean sometimes I get that in the Sevon chat as a whole. Like
we're not. Like, we're not there. We're not in the Sevon chat. We're here. So, and then the other thing is like I want to go back to my original point, which is where this all kicked off from. They are, and Will said it perfectly. They are pitting us against each other, and you have put like stressed out ICE agents and stressed out civilians who have not like been trained for this shit. If you want to say both sides, fine, I'll acquiesce to that. In a powder keg, shook it and said good fucking luck. And no one is doing anything about it. And you can say, well, the left media says this shit and the right media says this shit, and this one's worse than this one. No, they've left us out here to fucking fend for ourselves at this point. And it's fucking terrible.
We're extremely lucky this happened in the winter in Minnesota and not in the summer, because when COVID happened and we got locked up, I said one thing to my mom. I said, hey, if this keeps going on and businesses are shut down and people are going to get desperate and the summer months are going to come and it's going to get bad, right? Something's going to happen, right? And the powder keg that happened was George Floyd, right? And it was in the summer months, and Minneapolis burned because of it, right? It was negative 20 fucking degrees last week in Minnesota, right? When all this shit went down. If it would have been warmer, right? I don't think it's necessarily they didn't get their right martyr. It's fucking freezing out, right? Yeah. And people are like, they're just not gonna go out, right? It's
I mean, there's a lot of people going out even just
you got to 15,000. Garrett is correct. Trump needs to say, hey, look, America, we're going to pull back on this. We're going to reconfigure the situation. And then Minnesota government needs to say, people, go the fuck home. It's over. We're going to figure this out and it's done. But nobody's done that.
Yeah. Because then what happens, like, Brianna, you said something in our group chat today about what happens when, hey, inevitably, ICE agent gets killed. Then what? Then what's the escalation there?
Yeah.
Like,
I just
what
thought
are we
That's why it
doing
needs to
then?
stop
and I
now.
say inevitably, and this does not mean I want it to happen by any means. I say inevitably because I think that that's just the trend. Like Crosshat was saying, with inevitably there's going to be a powder cake, and that was George Floyd in that situation. And I think that in this situation, inevitably, an ICE agent's going to be killed because of this chaos. And I think, in my opinion, what happens is whoever kills that person will probably, if they even survive the moment, will have immediate justice, which will cause more violence from the people mad that other situations didn't have justice, and or in their eyes, what would be justice. And I
Like
just
that
think it will get
person would
worse.
get justice from
Yes, like I
doing
mean,
it.
immediately,
Okay.
yes, like they'd go to jail if they even survive the
Oh,
moment.
oh,
you
you're
know?
saying they would suffer the consequences, not
Yes.
like they would get like
Yes,
justice
and I
points.
could,
Like,
yeah, and I
yeah.
could see that even creating more of this almost like Civil War type attitude of like they're killing us, we're killing them, and I just think that would be, to me, that would be the ultimate escalation of like what Crosshat's saying of like what could happen next to make this worse. I think that would be it.
Yeah, and it needs to, that's why it needs to stop now, because we can't have police officers getting killed. You just
What-
cannot have it.
So like a big, like Pat and Brianna, and I think Jeremy probably agrees with this too. Like we have issues with the tactics, right, that are being used, not necessarily the mission, right? And the tactics right now of like broad scope of you're saying, right, they're going up to people in parking lots saying, right, where are you born, or wherever, right? Pulling people over saying, where are you born, right?
Yeah.
That's right, broad scope, not a good tactic. We don't like that. And now all this has happened, right?
We don't know
Pull
if
it-
that's even true. Will.
Yeah,
Okay,
Keep going.
but pull it back, right? Okay, so if the plan is, hey, we're gonna pull it back right now, and we're gonna pull all our agents back, pull them back to center, right? Okay, guys, quick group huddle here, right? What's a better plan? You send them out, and it's like, hey, we're gonna do targeted raids in the night where we think or we know, because you don't ever know for sure someone's there, and we're gonna go in and we're not gonna let them know, and we're gonna go into these cities and not make it apparent, right? Is that more resembling of like an authoritarian force going in and doing stuff in the night under the shadow, or like
I think,
doing a broad scope? Like, what would you rather see? Like,
yeah,
I don't
how about just do it like they did in 2000 when
I'll
Trump was
say-
president from 2016 to 2020?
I'll say, okay, first, I would say, like, for the most part, I agree
what
with
was the
you said,
playbook then?
and-
I guess that's the thing is
yeah,
like,
so
Whatever it was, it worked pretty darn well.
I would say that
Okay.
what is
Morning
the
time,
majority thing that
early
we
time.
need to, yeah, is the majority thing that we need to target is like people involved in gangs and recent border crossings, which was a big thing. Even just before, I was using Obama as a
I
reference.
think
but
recent is really rough though, because like the border's been open for so long. So like that
I
to
know,
me
and
is
that
like a
was one of the
silly
top-
argument of recent
I'll
border
say
crossings.
this is like, I think that my big thing with that is that was like one of the big things like Reagan did. And like, I think, and pretty much every president has really pushed on the recent border crossings because that's what's going to stop the increase of people coming here. Once they're here, it is very hard to like, quote unquote, get rid of them. Because like Pat said, it is hard to track who's coming where. But I would just say that like the number one things would just be people that you are catching in the moment.
No, I'm just pulling up comments.
Yeah,
Keep
no, I was
talking.
just- I
Don't
got-
just
I got
look. Don't
distracted
get
by
lost
that.
in it. Look,
But I
I'm
would
just producing a show
yeah,
right
I
now.
would just say people like that, you know, are targeted criminals, and it can be during the day. It doesn't have to be a big thing like that. But like, I know that Jeremy
No,
was
it
saying that
can't.
like they're not targeting people. Like they're not. I mean, they are. Like there's people that have like, I don't know how this isn't factored. You can argue that maybe the media. I will give you this: the media might be exacerbating how often they're doing that. But I think to say that they're not targeting on a wide scope people that might fit the profile of someone that they deem as an undocumented immigrant is not. I also just think that some of the comments here of like, I'll just say I'll play somebody's heartstrings. I'll be the liberal right now. There's been some comments in here that made me actually like genuinely really sad is when it says, I don't care how they do it, just get them out. Because like generally like I have family members that aren't citizens and it's not for lack of effort. I've said this before, like they came here when they were really young. This is the only country they've ever known and they cannot afford to become legal. And all of my family members that are legal are the ones that were old enough to do so under the Reagan administration when he like fast tracked it and made it really simple.
Yeah,
Everyone
okay, but
that's
this is
been
unfair.
an
Like
adult,
but what Megan is talking about is Lake and Riley.
yeah, and
She's
that's fair,
talking
but
about get the motherfuckers that are hurting our women, that are
and I
killing our
totally
women, that
agree with
are
that.
like,
But then
she's
they
not
use
saying
that.
go take the dude out of Home Depot.
No, I know.
And I
But then
don't
the
think
thing
most
is,
people would say that though.
Could it be
That's not
Lowe's?
what
They
they're
don't
saying.
care how many Home Depot dudes it takes to get rid of the Lincoln Riley guy, if that makes sense. And
Okay, but what you hear when you hear us talking, it's like if we say that and we're passionate, then it's like we just want every illegal that's ever come into the United States to go away and go home. And that's not what we're saying. Most of us are just incentivized by the
no,
fact.
I would say I agree with you guys. I haven't
Okay,
felt that
like-
sentiment from anyone on this panel. I was talking specifically about comments I've seen in this chat, and then I've seen them on like other videos of like just things I've seen on social media but I just seeing them in this chat made me sad because I'll just say like, you know, I think people don't understand when the common argument I hear is that like the fact that they crossed made them a criminal. And to me, I mean, that's an opinion to have, and I understand where it comes from. But genuinely, a lot of these people, especially
an
in this
opinion?
generation,
That's a fact.
It is. It's a misdemeanor, but like most of us, the majority of us,
yeah. Have you ever
don't
smoked
give a
weed,
shit,
Jeremy?
though.
Like,
It's a fact.
I just
I
think
would
that
I would
you
be
drink
held to
before you're
the
21.
and I would
like,
expect to be held to the standard of the law.
I just think, okay, I'll just say this. Like, to me, okay, whatever. When they were 3 years old, if like some of my family members came here when they were, before they could walk, before they could speak, genuinely, and this is the only country they've ever known, and they can't afford to become citizens. So you can say it's a fact. To me, it's an opinion because I don't think you are responsible for crossing a border when you're that age.
Yeah, I mean it's
Then
ridiculous.
the government needs to figure out a way
It's-
to expedite citizenship for those types of people. I
I agree,
have
they
friends
do.
like
And
that
right now
too.
they
So
haven't.
we're in
And right now
agreement
they
about
haven't.
that.
And those people are being targeted in some cases with violence for something that happened when they were that age. And the whole idea of self-deportation, like, are you kidding me? If I told Pat, hey Pat, you need to pick it up and move to Switzerland right now, a lot of people can't afford to just do that.
Wait, kids that are who's
So for
packing
example,
a bag
the
right now?
idea of I think it's CrossFit.
Cross that.
The idea of self-deportation
Sorry.
too is another thing I've heard in response to it is like, why don't they just self-deport? Like, my family members can't afford to get the citizenship, much less pack up everything they have and start a life in another country.
Okay.
A country that they've never been to. Some of them.
I
So
don't
what do you do
want to
with
get
those
into
people?
the like Bernie too. Policy and the law cannot be based on feelings or personal interest. It needs to be uniform and for a properly ordered society. I get it. And I also agree on that. I have two sides of the coin. I have very many friends that came in here like illegally when they were 3 or 4. I met them in high school. They're like citizens now, whatever. It's not their fault. Like, yes, I get that. And I would never want to see them gone or see them messed with or targeted or whatever you want to say. Also, if, certain people in my life had gotten stopped at the border at the right time and sent back because crossing illegally is a misdemeanor, then that person probably wouldn't have committed a fucking felony. So like, yeah, I get it. 6'7", bro. Like, I understand it. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of the problem is that the government has allowed these people to
Hold
live
on,
here.
I don't want to see
Yeah.
Minnesota happening right now. I don't want to see this. This is fucking sad for me. I don't want to see like our people fucking fighting amongst
Yeah.
each other to kill each other. Like, I
That can
don't.
end tonight. It can end tonight.
I don't want to see that shit. But at the same time, like, there has to be deportations.
Yeah, of course there does.
There has to be.
Sure, just like there's been every year since before 2025 or whatever the hell it was.
Gee, please, can you get Megs on this show? Because again, like when you brought up her comment before, and you come over here and do what you can. Again, you couldn't do it, Megs. I don't know your financial situation. I couldn't do it if I wasn't born here.
Where are you going? What one do you want? This? What?
Megs, yeah, no, her other, that was her first one that you brought up, which I thought we could agree on. But then this one of like, if you come over here and don't come over here and hurt people, like again, I thought G and I hopefully had agreed with you that we weren't talking about the people that truly come over here and commit felonies. We were talking about like we've heard the Home Depot people,
Yeah, I'm
you know,
not.
whatever.
I don't.
And
Yeah,
it
whatever.
does. I do not believe that everyone comes here is hurting people. I would have hoped that you didn't either. And I don't think it is so simple as if you truly want to be here, you will do what you can. I don't think at any point in my life, a single one of my family members could afford to go to court for it. Like they just never had made enough money to do that.
It's a dangerous precedent if you don't enforce the law the way it's supposed to be
I'm not
enforced.
saying we shouldn't
And
enforce the laws.
I have friends that are in that situation too, and I hate it. I hate it that they might have to face the reality that this is not the country they'll live in until they can. But that is how the country and the laws have to be enforced.
They don't have to be enforced. They don't have to be this way. I'm not talking about not enforcing the law, but the laws don't have to be a pay to play. Because some of my family members that came at the same time are legal because they were adults during the Reagan administration. And the Reagan administration made it very cheap and fast tracked on a path to become a citizen. So my grandma, for example, came over here with 5 kids. My mom was the 5th. She was the only one born here. The other 4 were kids when they came across. None of those 4 are, except for one, because she married a citizen. So 3 of them are not citizens now because they were kids. And the mom who came with them, who brought them here, is now a citizen. She's the only one that's a citizen because she was an adult during the Reagan administration, who made it possible for her to get a citizenship in an affordable and fast-tracked way because she was working and following the law and paying taxes.
Yeah,
right?
that's my
And so
thing,
that's my
though.
issue. Is I totally agree with the with this idea, and I'm not saying make it cheap. I'm saying don't make it $20,000s to roll a gamble if you'll get approved. That's not my point. Like, I think she'd be willing to pay a certain amount or pay her time through taxes and work. That's a different situation. But I'm talking about making it a pay to play. Like, that's ridiculous.
I think like the whole argument where people come from on like, okay, regardless of, you know, if you enter the country, you're committing a crime, right? You're then illegal, right? If you're not a citizen, you enter the country, you're illegal. Okay, what is, you know, if you're not a criminal and there's no crime, right? There's no perceived burden, but in reality there is a burden, right? Because all of any citizen, right? There's certain services that the government has to provide for that citizen. And then when you have undocumented people, that's more people you have to provide those services for.
Assuming that all
Streets-
undocumented people are
streets-
taking advantage of those.
No, but they are inherently when they drive on
Even
the
if
road.
a small portion
they
of
are
them
inherently if they call, they're benefiting from it, from having like a police force that other people have a police force or fire departments. They might not call the number, but they're getting from water bills, electric, etc. Right? All these things are funded through tax dollars. Anything that you're paying tax dollars for, and regardless of if they're paying taxes or not through their work,
They
right?
are.
They're cool, great. They're pitching in. That's fantastic.
And they don't
But-
collect at the end of the year.
Well, should they?
No, well, no. Listen, the amount
I
of
think-
money
but I
they
think
put in
the
on
point is
taxes every
that's
year.
why people are so black and white with it. Why people can be black and white with it is because there is a financial cost to every one person that is in the United States.
I know
right?
that, but it's a
And the tax-
financial benefit in reality. That's why the government has let these people stay here for so long. Is
Yeah.
because they put so much money into taxes and they don't actually use
and
the
it's cheap
service.
labor. I mean, it's the same reason the Democrats
Right,
didn't want
so-
to get rid of the slave labor.
They're not really stealing anything. They're adding to the amount of money the government takes in every year because of the amount of taxes they pay, and they don't file a return.
And
So
votes.
the government has abused that for the last 50, 60 years. And
Yeah.
now listen, I get it. I know what you're saying, but you've had people that have lived here for a long time. Nobody went after them. They've made their lives here, and now you're going to boot them out. I think what Brianna's saying is, hey, the people that you know that are here and have contributed, let them fucking stay and throw the rest of them out. And I think
So with that though, right? Like the hospital system, right? If someone walks across and they get hit by a bus, right, and they don't have insurance and they're undocumented, right, the hospital is going to have to take care of them. Someone's going to foot that bill ultimately.
Taxpayer.
So you want people, right, that are going to be productive, and you know that you want good citizens, right? They're going to get a job, they're going to be educated, right? They're going to be healthy, right? So what if what if it looked more like when you're applying for life insurance, where you go get a physical, they do these things, right? They make sure you're healthy, they make sure you have a source of income, you can read, you can write, etc., whatever it is, right? There's some sort of a test, and I don't know what the process to being a citizen is, so I might be speaking past things, but maybe it just needs to be more than just a financial way of, can you pay your way in? And is it, hey, are you going to actually be fucking useful when you're here, and like, yeah, stamped, cool, you get a US passport, you're one of us, awesome, versus like half the turds of like the shitbag humans that are American citizens anyways, right? That it'd be like, hey, well, let's get rid of them, right? Let's get rid of my lazy cousin Joe just because his parents are born here, right? And he's here. Let's get rid of him and let's trade him for Jose, who busts his ass. He's got a master's degree and he has a 2-minute Fran, right? Like, I at first thought about like, well, we should just have them all do 7 minutes of burpees, right? And then you're here if you get below this number, or you're like, but like, if you apply that like idea of like, okay, here's the standard of what we want, right, an American citizen to be, of you need to have a job, you need to have this, etc., right? You can't be a plague to our system, right? Cool, you're in. Versus it being a financial thing, that would be ideal. But
my question is there, as much as like, okay, they've paid into the system, they're not getting anything back from the system or whatever, is there anything
they
as
are,
like,
by being here,
I
right?
I also don't think that they're not getting anything back from the system. I think that they get shit back from the system, even though they pay into it, and like, whatever. I've watched it. I know, like, okay, fine. But
Yeah.
is there anything that we as citizens get, that like, do we get any perks? Is there any perks for that? Or are they like, are we, does it matter?
I mean,
Does it matter whether, like, if you're illegal and you're a
Perks?
citizen and you get the same shit?
Look
You
at all the
get the same
people in poverty are getting all sorts of free shit. They're getting
Yeah.
welfare, they're getting health care, they're getting everything they want. The poor people.
Okay, so we're all like, so what you're saying
We're paying
is
for
like,
them too.
We're
Yeah.
all, but do you want to be though? That's my question. Like, I
that's-
don't want to be.
They were born here.
Like,
Yeah, but I think we're talking about two different things, right? Do we want to like talk about the state providing for
so
its
what
citizens?
Pat's saying is like, it's okay to pay for our own
I didn't say
citizens.
it's okay. I'm just saying, what I'm saying is the
I'm just
vast
trying to
majority of
understand this because I don't
All
get
right.
it.
the vast majority of people that come here because they want to work. That's why they come here illegally, and they
Okay.
take that money and they send it home. So if they're coming here illegally, they're working, they're paying 1/3 of their salary goes to the government, and they don't file a return at the end of the year. They get nothing back. So unless you think they're getting, like, say they make 50 grand, you think they're getting $17,000 in government subsidies for people that are actually working. The guys that are getting the subsidies are the ones that are here, the criminals that aren't working. Those are the scumbags. And I agree. Fuck them. And they shouldn't get anything.
when we talk about, I do want to be clear that there are perks that a poor, and there should be, this is not me saying, oh, let's make everything even. There are perks in the assisted government assistance thing that us as Americans, I think this is what you're pointing to, G, have as a perk that illegals don't, besides not getting a return. Illegal undocumented immigrants are not eligible for SNAP, food stamps, Medicaid, unemployment insurance. They're not eligible for student financial aid. So
That doesn't
yes,
mean they're not getting some of those.
I'm
things.
How are they getting it, Jeremy?
so my point
Illegally.
is, do
Jeremy's
I think
like the godfather
How
over
do you
there. He makes like
illegally get-
3 words and then like.
Well, I guess.
I mean, you
the
can
question,
look up. It's on the NILC like website what undocumented people are eligible for. I don't know what they're eligible for. I know they are eligible for some things, and some people should say there should be uneligible for anything. That's fair to say. But my point is to say that they have just as many perks as the American citizen when it comes to poverty isn't true. They are unequal when it comes to American citizens, when it comes to their taxes, and when it comes into what they're like eligible for. And
how
that
are they
should be
paying
that way.
taxes? Is it well, because like what? If you're undocumented, how do you get a W-2 if you don't have a social security
Because they
number?
have a job.
They have a fake social security card.
You get a fake social security card?
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
bullshit information. It's
Okay.
fake. They get their work visa
Pat's
because the
being
government
a dick.
doesn't care. This was all before background checks, Will. It was before like companies started really like hammering down the fact that you can't hire illegals. and
In
you'd have
general.
millions of people working here, and at the end of the year they could not file a return because they weren't even an actual person, but the government will let them pay taxes out of their paycheck every week.
So like, because like, can't people get, you know, driver's license? Because like, isn't that the big argument when it comes to like voter registration, right? Like you have these people, you have undocumented people that end up getting driver's license, and then they can show up to a polling place because your form of ID to get right
No,
to
it doesn't even
vote
matter. In
sometimes
New
is your
York, you
driver's
don't have to
license.
show ID.
Yeah.
You don't have to show ID
I would
here.
also say that some of these that you're pulling up are because they have U.S. citizen-born children. So sometimes you're eligible for certain things because your children are U.S. citizens.
Okay, so
I
then
don't
your
know if
children
as
can
a
get those
single
benefits.
undocumented immigrant, some of these wouldn't even apply to you, like the nutrition program, certain the tax credits, certain things here. I think maybe besides the emergency relief, which was a point to the hospitals thing. Besides that, I don't know what else as a single undocumented immigrant you have access to if you don't have U.S. citizen children.
Yeah,
Which you can
Pretty
also
sure
say
you
wrong,
have
but
access
I'm
to
just
most
saying,
of it.
saying that as like a you know, asterisk.
Yeah,
But-
like you can't really do it anymore. I mean, there's too many things in
Cash-based.
place right now. It's impossible. It's almost impossible to get the fake social security number and actually
Yeah, but if
go
you
that
no, if
route.
you come in here with a work visa and you let your work
So
visa
they're not
lapse,
paying
you can
taxes
still
anymore
do
then.
shit.
Yeah, not nowadays. It's very difficult, Will,
Okay.
to be an illegal alien. It's 50,
So
you know,
then,
6
so
or
then
7 years ago.
they're just benefiting from those that pay taxes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think
But I
that's
mean,
a big.
also when you're saying they, it's, and you can say this is too many,
Mhm.
but I think describing it as an epidemic, I think 3% of undocumented people receive federal federal aid. I don't know the
I'm not
exact term of
talking.
it, which
I'm
is
not
less
talking.
than how many exist.
Yeah, I'm not
by far.
talking. I'm talking
Yeah.
the aid through osmosis, right?
Mhm.
The aid that you're in a neighborhood where there's police, and the people
Mhm.
around you are getting these benefits. There's public transportation around you
Yes.
that you can show
Yes,
up and
there's
get on.
definitely those
Those
benefits.
things.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about. Of like,
Yeah.
that's where the issue of whether or not you're criminal or not, right? You're undocumented or illegal, right? That's a tax that is a burden on the taxpayer.
It is. It definitely is, Will. And that's all Biden's fault. You know, letting in millions of illegals and then they had no places to live and then all these billion-dollar housing programs. There's no doubt about it. That was 100% Biden and he
you
fucked
could
it
say
all.
it was Trump's fault too before though,
No, it was
right?
Biden's.
Or Obama
No,
or
Biden's.
Bush.
He let all the
But
Haitians
if they were
come
able
here.
to pay but Pat, if they were able to pay taxes back then, right? And we've had all these problems for
Yes.
this long.
Yes, back
and
then.
people have been able to get away with this shit. Then it's not Biden's. It's this has been building for fucking
It has,
years.
but
Yeah.
it became an overpopulation issue, and then you had the
Yes,
problems
yes,
in Haiti,
yes. And
where
then there was
people
a
that
large influx.
everybody
I
claimed
agree.
asylum. Everybody claimed asylum.
Yes. The asylum problem.
Could I bring up something that my family has always thought was a great idea because we've seen it be like this is like the pinnacle success for my family. So a lot of my family work in like the agricultural industry, you could call it that in a sense, and in California, there's actually not much need for it now. Now there still is, but for example, it's actually become pretty picky
Yeah,
with who
there
they'll
is.
take just because of how many Mexicans are there, right? And so it's been kind of the thing of like once they're able to save up enough money, they love to move to Kansas and Nebraska and Wisconsin because they can get much better pay and better. It's cheaper to live there, and there's more need for the type of work that they do. But they have to save up to get there because California is way easier to get to. And I've thought of the way we have, visas for high skilled laborers, right? That, the H-1B visas, right? Why don't we have visas in a sense for low skilled laborers? And in the same way, I know we do in the sense of just a plain work visa, but I'm saying in the sense of the way we do with H-1Bs where we say, okay, you can come here, but you have to live in Alabama and do your medical practice here for a certain amount of years before you can go. There are certain ones that do that for certain high skill jobs. They fast track your pathway to citizenship by saying you have to live here and do your skill here for a certain amount of years before you can just move everywhere else. I wonder how if there's a chance to do that for low skilled laborers in states.
We've
that
done
need
that
it.
before. We've done that before. It was indentured servitude. When slavery was outlawed, they turned into indentured servitude. Look it up, Joseph.
Is it indentured servitude when we do this to doctors? Because we do that
Jeremy,
all the
are you
time with
okay?
But
doctors
Brianna,
in
you're
India.
saying
Jeremy,
Yeah, I'm good.
take,
all right.
you're saying take
You okay?
illegal immigrants that are
I
working
actually
in
got
the
something.
Wouldn't it be
agricultural
illegal if they
industry,
apply for this program?
and instead you're going to tell them where to work, right? And for how long they have to work,
They're getting
right,
paid
on this visa. They're indentured servants are getting paid, and they got their plot of land, and they got the right to vote. Like,
I don't
it's
think
the same
it's
fucking
something
thing.
that already exists.
They've done this
This
before.
is not. You're acting like this is crazy, but it's a program that already exists.
Yeah, but Brianna,
for
it's just for
high
people.
skilled.
But you're saying for low skilled workers. You're saying for
Brianna, those high skilled people are
workers,
making
you're
billionaires a
limiting them
lot
to
of
being a
money.
farmer.
That's why that's
so
allowed.
they're never going to grow up past being a farmer. That's exactly why.
But their kids might.
That's exactly
their kids might if their parents are able to provide them a better
That's what
life
they
in
said about the
Wisconsin than they
indentured
can in
servants.
California.
Yes, go Will, go.
I don't know. It's just
Like,
a thought
they've already
because
done
I've
this
seen my
shit.
family
Like,
do
how
it,
are
and
you
to them-
libertarian if you're saying, how are you a libertarian if you're saying we need a government work program that's going to take illegal immigrants and give them a path, but they have to stay in this one
But
thing?
I
Like,
wouldn't
that's
say
just silly to
you're
me.
using the term illegal. I'm talking about people that want to come here. Because would you consider that the H-1Bs we give out to be illegal? They're residents. They're doing it through a
Yes.
legal pathway. They might not be a citizen at that point. That doesn't mean they're illegal. And I would say that when people come here on H-1Bs, they're not illegal. They're doing a legal process. They're just not currently citizens, right?
So would they have to leave and then come back?
Possibly, if that's part of the program. I'm just saying, I've seen my family members, they see it as the ultimate prize when they're in that industry of how can we get to the Midwest? Because over there, it's cheaper and they want us and, you know, all these different things.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason they go to California is just because it's cheaper. It's quicker.
But I think
to
making
get
that
there.
program and building it for just this one thing
that my
limits
wife?
the scope, and you're
Yeah, your
limiting
wife's here.
that group of population to do that one thing. That is literally indentured
Yeah, and
servitude.
this was just and I'm not saying that this is, but I'm saying if they like, I don't know, if that's their skill and there's a high need for that skill.
All right, moving on.
I don't know.
Got
it
it.
was just
Indentured
a thought.
servitude.
Sorry,
Okay.
I was supposed to be the calm. Person
No, I let you go, Will. I had to let you go. You were.
That was awesome. Good job, Brianna.
Thanks. Just a
Wait.
thought. And now I'm advocating for slavery, I guess.
Apparently,
That's why Jeffy's so
government
quiet right now.
sponsored slavery.
like, I wanted. There's two more really quick things I want to do, and this one is just because like. There's actually like when you said like where are the people out there calling for like us to fucking I don't know go out there and be cannon fodder, like this is what's going around the internet because our politicians are like, yeah, fight ICE, like whatever, and then this is what we
Well,
get.
I'm Antifa, and there's so much rage in me that I've had to record this like 15 times trying to get the message out.
All the time.
They fucked up. Okay, go watch my other videos. Doesn't matter if you're not here and you're not caught up. You missed the fucking fight. But if you are, it's time to suit up. Boots on the ground. Nicollet and fucking 26th. My house is 4 blocks away. Anywhere between Franklin and Nicollet. And
when you got a bunch of people with this algorithm rolling around, like, then this is what happens. Then you got a bunch of people that shouldn't be putting themselves in these situations, and that's just the thing for me that like, it's
I think he wants
it's
to be in that
tragic.
situation though.
What?
Like, I think that's the same dude who's going to start a fight at whatever bar he chooses to go to, right?
Yeah, but I think people are going to follow him. You know what I mean? Like, people are going to
Yeah.
follow him. People are going to see that algorithm. And what is this? Did I do
So-
this?
What?
Gee, you're right. People will see that and go out.
And,
That
and
dude's
they
a fucking-
will. And it's just, and they think that they're helping. And I get it. And I get the whole bleeding heart thing and whatever. And I understand it. And unfortunately, they're just getting led down a path that they don't need to be on. Go ahead. Sorry, Jeremy. What's up?
I was just telling my son. I'm
One
almost
second.
done. He wants to go to
God.
Sky Zone and bounce around. You're good. Don't worry about it.
You're like, quiet?
But that video right there, the problem goes back to what I'm saying before. Is I called in to Sevi yesterday and talked about poor leadership, and this is the manifestation of poor leadership. What we're seeing right now.
I think so.
ICE,
For sure.
ICE needs to do a better job in certain circumstances. I don't believe all the other hoopla of them going into Home Depots and harassing everyday people. I don't believe it's as bad as some people might think it is or want us to believe it is. Anyways, but this is poor leadership. This is governors and senators
and presidents
putting people in horrible situations.
I think it's poor leadership in the home, right? It starts in like what's the biggest statistic of success, right? Like dual parent household, right? Like I think it's a lack of.
I mean, that's for a deeper conversation.
Family.
Yeah,
but I think if you're going to say it's poor leadership, I think that's the leadership error, right?
Yeah, but I mean that can't be changed the way that governors and senators listening to what they're told can be changed, and not inciting violence can be changed, and not getting people like that who's clearly got some screws loose upstairs to try to rally Antifa, because they live. It's like Disney World, man. They think they're in some movie. They think that they are the good guys. They're going to go out and bash ICE in the face. And why do you think they think that? They've been told. You are in the right. It is you have the right to go protest. By all means, go do it. Absolutely. Don't get in the way. What is getting in the way?
Getting in the way. I need someone to define what get in the way is. Because like we saw that video and of that cop flooring that girl. And is that violence to you, or is that just a cop doing his job? Because it seems like
I wasn't there. I'm not going to say.
Jeremy, you've seen the freaking videos
in the Minnesota video, like the first part of the.
Just fucking buries this shit.
Christ, Pat, you're impossible, dude. You get so hung up on one thing.
Dude, I'll show you 100 of those videos, Jeremy. Hundreds of them.
I know what you're talking about.
You don't watch them.
No ability to zoom out a little bit.
Oh my! I'll zoom
look
out,
at the
dude.
bigger picture.
You can't attack civilians. You cannot attack civilians that aren't a
for the last 30 minutes. If you're
also the same thing is like you can't put your hands on law enforcement either. We all agree on all those things.
Absolutely not. You cannot. But if you're gonna fucking bury some civilian, then don't not expect another civilian to come help her. Isn't that your fucking duty? It says in the Constitution
to help
defend yourself against tyranny.
People get buried. You're supposed to help.
Defend yourself against tyranny, right, buddy?
This is not tyranny, dude.
Oh,
dude, they're out there because they want to be out there. They're choosing to be out there.
When a cop walks up and buries some dude who's just standing there, it's tyranny.
That's so out of context.
They're not out there just
There's
to be
no
out there,
context
dude.
to what you're saying, or more things you send. That's why I don't watch them anymore.
You
don't watch them. You don't want to get informed.
They don't have to take any accountability whatsoever.
Accountability for standing there with a phone.
You're an human being, bro. There's no context to anything. There's no informing that
what context you need?
All you do is yell like this.
What context you need? He's standing there with a phone. Here you go.
Okay, that's all he was doing. That was it.
What else is there to talk about?
Did he say something to him like, "Ice, you suck"? Oh, okay. Come here. Let me fucking put you on the ground. You have to understand, law enforcement has to abide by the same rules we do.
I will say this, Pat, to play any sort of game, like to have any sort of devil's advocate for the situation, because to me, I don't understand how people can't see that video and think it looks really bad and ask for any more context.
I didn't say it didn't look bad,
but I think that
don't get in the way of the law enforcement.
Don't know. I don't think he did, but I don't understand how you see that.
I mean,
but that's okay.
We got to move on.
I think the one thing we're missing here is we don't know what was vocally said. This was the one good point I thought Sevon had on his show, which was maybe he really said, "I'm going to kill all of you guys." Like that. I guess that's the only thing we don't know is what this guy was saying during that time. So that's the one thing I will give law enforcement is I have no idea what he was saying or what they were saying to him that would make them maybe feel that escalation was necessary. That would be the one thing. I have no idea what he vocally said.
Clock cutter. This is patently false. Sworn officers have all sorts of legal privileges and responsibilities that we do not. Yeah, they do. And
they have pretty much less rights than we do.
We hold them to a higher standard at all times. Right? Like we're quick to blame them.
This is context right here. This is what I mean by context. You don't know all of the facts.
I know all the facts.
Hold the fuck on, dude.
I know the story, Jeremy.
As soon as I start talking, your little brain like there's a lot more context that not everybody knows. Okay. Should he have shoved a woman over? I hate seeing a woman get shoved over. That does not mean you play fucking Superman and try to get in the way. You don't do that. The tension was already through the roof. Get out of the way. Also, Alex did have beef with them a week before. That has come out that he got some cracked ribs a week before. So there's a lot. Maybe they know him. Maybe they're already like, oh my God, this guy again. These guys are getting treated like shit. Whether you agree with how they're doing it or not, based on whatever the hell you think they're doing or not doing, they're going into war zones because horrible leaders keep putting them there. Trump is enforcing the same thing Obama did, maybe a little bit different. Maybe. Based on, but that's neither here nor there. He's doing the same thing Obama was doing. He did not get the pushback 18 years ago, and now they're getting the pushback. Everybody thinks they're superheroes for going and protesting ICE, who are trying to remove rapists and murderers and drug people like that. I mean, that's all fact.
Hey, I'm glad you're very fired up about this. But you are so misinformed. It's unbelievable.
Man, that whole misinformed.
You really are, buddy.
Lang
you literally,
really
you're the one who told me I'm not going to watch any of the stuff you send. You refuse to look at anything on the other side.
What you sent me, Pat. Yes.
You will only watch
your view.
You'll watch Fox News, Jeremy. That's what you watch.
I haven't watched Fox News in years.
You watch the side you want to hear, and you don't want to listen to the other side. I watch both.
You accuse us of that
all
the time.
Yeah, you accuse people because your argument is so
that all the time.
Weak.
No, my argument's correct.
Me of taking one side. No, I took both sides. I said what they did to the lady. I hate to see it.
I took maybe they like 5 times.
I don't know. I wasn't there. But you keep saying, how can you do that? And that guy should have done what he did. No, dude. Whoa, that lady got pushed. I'm out. I'm backing up. Sorry. Let me back up. Let me remove myself from this situation.
Jeremy,
that's what you do, Pat.
If you were around in 1776 making the calls, we'd all be paying taxes to a king and queen right now with your attitude.
I'm just here for the backside. Okay, last thing I got it for Jeremy. Dude, my man. This is you and me, Jeremy, if we ever did anything athletic together.
Oh,
pause.
Athletic together.
Pause. I said fucking pause. Me. That's Jeremy. Yeah. And then this is me.
The little voice, dude.
That's how I feel.
Gee, fuck that. You're a Division I athlete.
No, man. Seriously. That's fair.
You know what? I'll be straight up honest. Have you ever skied? I never skied before in my life.
Oh, God, I love skiing. All right, then
you're
you're the little dude in the background. And I'm the one coming out.
Yeah,
I've definitely skied.
Yeah, I need to go skiing.
And then anybody else before we get out of here? We got the Seahawks and Patriots.
So brutal.
Boring. It's going to be a fucking blowout, bro.
You think Seattle's going to blow them out?
Yeah.
I hope so.
It's definitely
Yeah, I hope Seattle wins.
If the Patriots couldn't score 10 points, like they scored 10 fucking points in that game against Broncos, like they're not.
I'm just worried Sam Darnold's going to turn back into Sam Darnold.
Oh, that's facts. That's possible. Absolutely possible. That's fair.
But then they have Jalen Milroe on their bench.
Who?
Jalen Milroe. Do you not know who that is?
No, it's basically like Jarrett Stidham. I didn't know who he was either until last week.
You didn't know who Jarrett Stidham was?
No, I did, but he's
okay. I was
terrible.
like, fucking. Oh, this is for Jeremy too. Oh, I was thinking about you all day today, Jeremy. Here you go. This is for you too. Here we go. Fuck these kids.
What year were you born?
I was born in 1984.
How was it being a slave?
Oh my gosh.
Yo, I saw that. I was like, wait, fuck them kids. What is happening right now?
Wow. That was savage.
That's good.
Oh my God.
All right. Damn.
I did want to say,
Yeah, any final?
keep signing up for the CrossFit Open. The numbers are up; they're going up. So if you haven't done, if you're listening, keep signing up.
What's the
and
first week,
also
Jeremy?
February 26th, I believe it is, or 28th.
Yeah.
Also Friday night, unless you guys are going live with something. No,
we're
you
not
don't go
doing
live.
shit.
You guys go on dates.
Date night on Friday, sushi,
date night.
baby. Brianna, you
Friday
can
night,
laugh.
we're gonna
sushi. We're going to sushi. We're gonna go get sushi.
Oh.
Pause.
Lesbians getting sushi. Go ahead.
My
Sorry.
roommate's laughing.
now I'm in the mood for some sushi.
What's your
goddamn.
favorite? What do you like rolls? Do you get sashimi? Do you do like actual sushi? What do you like?
She likes the
what do you
red
go with?
sushi. I don't know if you've ever seen that kind.
No, I don't. I don't eat red and shut up. Okay? That's not no.
You don't like the tuna?
We take no, I like tuna. That's fair. Will, it's a trap. Sushi scissor. Shut up, CrossFit. So no, I do both. I do sashimi. I like the octopus and the shrimp and the yellowtail
Salmon?
sashimi. And then I like salmon sashimi. And then for rolls, do you guys have the Philadelphia one with the cream cheese?
Yeah.
That's fire.
I like all sushi.
That's like pretty standard. Let's
That
go
sounds
to.
amazing.
Okay, my bad. Tiger
Sorry.
roll.
Yep. Okay.
Sorry. Tiger roll.
Should I remove him from the stage? CrossFit?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's muted now.
Damn.
Smart ass.
No, I love. Oh,
I'm kidding.
what? I can't like standard rolls. I can't be like
No, that's
California
good, that's
or
good.
like
No California. No, that's
California's
meat shake.
amazing. No, oh, fancy rock and roll.
Yeah, that sounds good.
You don't even know what that is. Get out of here.
No,
You don't.
I don't. Well, every place has different names for it. I would guess I was more so like, okay, do you like just eat like shrimp tempura and
Ew, no, I don't like
California
anything
rolls?
tempura. I don't like anything tempura.
I would say if you get to a good spot and they have Toro, it's just fatty tuna.
Yeah, it's
I
the
would
best.
say that's your freaking go-to. If
Yeah.
you get good Toro, nothing.
Well,
beats
most
that.
places never have it though. It's
Yeah,
it's
they
really,
really
good.
don't.
It's tough to
You-
find.
If you start asking, like if you go to a place and you find, like we had a sushi place at our college, it's Sushi Boss, right? So I mean, bowl type.
How old are you,
place,
Will?
right? They fill it up. 25.
Oh, he's so old.
But
All
I
the
asked the
generations
dude that worked
represented
there.
here.
I was like, "Hey, when do you guys get your fish? Like, when do they ship it in?" And he's like, Tuesdays and Fridays or whatever the day he told me. So that's the day you show up is when
Yeah.
they get the stuff, is when it's
Yep.
fresh, and you make friends with them and they'll give you the good cuts.
Yes, you should always get your fish when it's fresh. That is very true. That should absolutely be.
Now I'm confused
number
as to
one
what
priority.
we're talking about.
Jeremy hasn't seen a fresh piece of fish in years.
Oh my god.
So Will's not coming on next week, right?
Shit, I pulled an ab.
We're kicking
I
him
have
out.
one ab and I pulled it. Oh god. Okay. All right. What were you saying?
Oh, I was gonna say
Every
Friday night we're gonna excuse me, Dylan and I. Dylan is my sushi. We're gonna be live reviewing and previewing because there's another pay-per-view this weekend. So even if you're not in the UFC and MMA, just come hang out, man. It's usually a good time.
She doesn't want
Friday
any
night.
new fish.
I did Taekwondo.
There you go.
All right. Okay. Damn, babe. That's just
Red fish.
facts. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Damn, 2 hours. I guess we really got into this whole
Some of the comments are so funny.
dude. We have a good time out here. It's all good. Dylan Val, dude, you should just hop on this show one day.
There he
He
is.
eats my sushi with barbecue sauce. Damn.
Oh, man.
All right, guys. Thank y'all for hanging out. We appreciate you on a Tuesday. I know we didn't fight as much as we normally do, but I think we actually had a productive conversation this go around, right? A little less cantankerous than last time. No? Brianna's like,
Little
no,
less.
fuck
I wasn't
y'all.
here
Y'all
last week,
said
so I don't know
some
what went
terrible
on.
ass shit. Fuck out of here. I'm going to need hopefully next week, not your period week. And then we can just like love each other again after
So
that.
true. So true, Kenneth.
I'm on my last day, so I'm fine right now. That's probably why I was chill. Cool. But thank y'all for hanging out. Will, CrossFat, always. CrossFat, thanks for being in the chat. CrossFat, thanks for being on the show.
I'm convinced it's Hobart. I'm so fucking convinced it's James Hobart.
It's not.
Was he
If
in
it
the
is-
chat the other day when you had Hobart on?
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
All right. Well,
So, KDL, Bernie Gannon, Megs, all y'all, Trish, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us for 2 hours. We appreciate it. We'll be back next week. Don't know who the crew is which crew member will be able to be here or not be here. Hopefully, we'll all be here. Otherwise, thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Deuces.